A couple of months ago, I made a video that went viral. It was called Nurses Are Going Bald. And when I tell you, I got so many comments on that video from so many nurses and people who worked in the healthcare field who could relate. As a hairstylist for over a decade, I have dealt with many nurses or people who work in that related field whose hair has been suffering from their job. Basically, working a nurse's shift, I'm talking that 3 12-hour shift or more, a lot of them don't have time to really deal with their hair. So I would deal with a lot of nurses who had hair loss, who had dry hair that started breaking all over. They would have alopecia spots, they would have no edges, or their hair would just be like this, unkept and just looking a mess. Some of them will wear a trusted wig for maybe years, and they would have their hair underneath just looking like who done it and why. In this video, we're going to go over a few comments that was left on that video, and we're going to break down why are these nurses' hair going bald. As you can see, I'm in the middle of helping this lady who is a healthcare worker, and I'm using my main magic elixir in my spray bottle of water, and we are going to take down her protective style. It's been weeks and her hair does not look good. She got boho braids in the front and she has a sewing in the back. This was a nice bob look, but it doesn't look that good anymore. It looks more like Robert at this point and not Bob. I'm going to start removing the boho plaits in the front using my elixir in water to get it nice and saturated. And then I'm going to use this main magic growth sauce, which is the detangler. And I'm going to put this down the entire braid. That way I can start to unravel this braid without any hiccups. One thing about boho braids, those loose hairs will get wrapped around and it'll turn into a hot mess. So you got to be very careful when you're removing these type of braids because it can easily tangle up your hair with the extensions. I use these two products anytime I remove any protective style, and I definitely need it on this particular style because it's definitely going to add so much slip and it's going to make sure that I am separating the extensions from her natural hair without ripping her hair out. So under this video that went viral, there were so many comments, but one comment that got over 600 likes went like this: stress and nutrient deficiency. Nurses work 12-hour shifts. The days they are not working, they are resting. When they do go outside to even get any vitamin D, when they are working, they barely have time to hydrate. Nurses that work nights are pumping themselves with caffeine to function. Nursing is hard. Healthcare is hard. Next time you see a nurse, treat her to a spa day or something. Let's break that down. That was a very good comment and covered a lot of topics. Within the first sentence, she hit two heavy hitters: stress and nutrient deficiency. And that's a lot of what the client in the chair is dealing with. Definitely nutrient deficiency and stress. But first, let's dissect what's going on in this video. As you can see, I cannot get that comb through her hair. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray that section down with that conditioned water that I use the elixir in. And then I'm going to take this magic growth sauce, which is a slippery sauce, and I'm going to put that all over the section of saturated hair. And now I'm going to finger detangle and slowly try to separate the hair and feel my way through any knots or matting. Doing this is going to carefully make sure that I help her retain length without combing her hair out. Usually people would just take a comb or a detangling brush and try to comb or detangle dry hair. That's not going to work. Well, in fact, it will work. You'll just be tearing out healthy hair in the process. And if you want to retain length, you definitely want to not skip these steps. After you're detangling that section, you should be able to get your fingers smoothly through that section. And you should be able to have naturally shed hair in your fingers like this. And if you try to use a comb, you'll be tearing out way more than this. After you have safely done that, then you can think about picking up a wide tooth comb. As you can see, this is a small tooth comb and I'm still able to get through it after using those two products and finger detangling first. Now let's move on to cutting out the sewing in the back, and let's get back to this comment. Stress and nutrient deficiency, yeah, those are big ones. You see, the client right here, she works in the healthcare field and she was working her 12-hour shifts. Those 3-day, 12-hour shifts, they seem like a walk in the park because you get to have 4 days off. But working 12-hour shifts in a stressful environment, especially if you're working graveyard shift or at night, baby, that can throw your whole circadian rhythm off and you'll be walking around like a zombie. Only was she working graveyard shift 3 days a week, 12 hours a day, she's also going through a divorce, throwing some kids, and throw in possibly a pink slip from her job for being late because of lack of childcare. Yeah, that can be a lot of stress, and her hair definitely seen it. I'm talking about homegirl lost her edges. As you can see, you'll probably see two different, very drastic lengths. Long in the back, very short in the very nape, and in the front, the edges is gone, baby. But we've been working on it for the last couple of months. I wish I could show you the before, but she was too embarrassed. But now we have about 3 to 4 good inches in the front. We've been working to protective style her hair for the last 7 months, and I think it's very good progress. Stress can be heightened with that sleep deprivation, but definitely when you throw that nutrient deficiency in the mix, yeah, I'm surprised she still got this much hair on her head. She wasn't able to eat a nutritious diet, and even if she tried to, when you're so stressed, your cortisol levels can be at an all-time high, and that's going to be hard for you to have a balanced hormonal system. Being a nurse is hard to cook yourself nutritious meals when you're always tired. It's just so much more convenient to just grab something to eat. Working that graveyard shift, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., it's very hard to even get out in the sun. By the time you get home at 8 a.m., you're so tired and you sleep until the evening time and you rush to get ready for work. Or on your days off, all you want to do is rest. And the last thing you want to do is go work out or go hiking in the sun or go for a walk in the sun. You want to go to the spa. You want to get your nails done. You probably want to get your hair done. Go shopping and spend some money and just stay in the house and enjoy being off your feet. You're so tired, so of course caffeine is always your fix. You're drinking caffeine throughout the day, even on your off days, and you're still exhausted. You're probably drinking water, but are you drinking that much water to really hydrate your system? Probably not. And when you're working, you're dealing with patients who are sad, who are probably worried about their life and their health. So that stress is on you now because now you have to help them. And not only that, you have to worry about your superiors. You have to worry about your coworkers, working with doctors. And it's just a stressful environment. So when you're home, the last thing you want to do is just think about work, think about anything that's high stress. You don't have energy to even, then somebody got to care for the kids, and someone has to care for the husband and the household chores and your friends and family outside of the home. You're spreading yourself thin. Even if you have help, such as housekeepers or nannies, it's still a lot for a woman. And then on top of that, she has to worry about her beauty regimen. That's a lot. It really is. And it's such a strenuous life. So, of course, your hair might not be seeing the best of you. It's so easy to cover it up, get it done, and let it just sit until the next time you get it done. And then after years of just this repeated cycle, you can look up and your hair can be in a very damaged state. Yeah, I know every nurse is not like this. Some nurses have it all together. They have the dream life. Their hair is in a perfect state. They don't have any problems. They have time management. They're okay with their stress levels and their nutrition. We get it. There are some people out there who got their thing on lock. But this is just my observation from looking at nurses' hair over the years and doing their hair. And I just seen a common pattern of a lot of nurses having dry hair that is damaged, and that is pretty much going bald. So I felt like I should just bring it to my platform and talk about it. And according to the comments, there are a lot of nurses out there who actually agree with me. Not only nurses, there were a lot of school teachers, social workers in the comments who are saying the same thing, that they just don't have time to really care for their hair and grow their hair and have it flourish because their job is stressing their hair strands out. Okay, so we removed all of the extensions from her hair, and now it's time for me to further finger detangle her hair, section her hair, and get it ready for a detox treatment. Today, she's going to allow me to detox treat her hair, give her a much needed haircut, and put her hair back into a protective style. So since removing those tiny braids using these same two products, I'm going to put the hair into bigger sections. So I'm going to use that same conditioned water, spray down the section, get it nice and saturated, and then I'm going to use that same detangling sauce and I'm going to pour it all over this section and finger detangle yet again. Trust me, finger detangling will be your best friend. It's going to be the one thing that really helps you keep the hair on your head. If you're using a comb to detangle your braids and just trying to get it done with and move fast, you're going to tear your hair out. This is part one of maybe a 3 or 4 part series. So you definitely want to hit that subscribe button so you can come back and see the next step of us detoxing her hair. And then she's going to let me do a haircut on her. Now, she was trying to grow her hair out a little bit more before she does any type of trimming because she's used to having a lot of long hair, but because stress and nutrient deficiency really took out a lot of her hair strands, she doesn't want to do the big chop and even out her hair. She wants to slowly transition and do little haircuts at a time so then her hair can have an even bob eventually, but she's just not ready to have the big chop and lose all her hair. She did not mean for this to happen to her hair, but life happened. And you know what? I'm with her on this. You don't have to do drastic changes. You just have to consistently show up for your hair, and your hair will be happy with that. So I am taking you guys along on her journey while we get her hair back, while she learns how to balance life, work, and hair at the same time. Now, we don't want to scare off anyone who's entering into the nursing field by having them think, oh, you're going to be bald if you become a nurse. No, that's not it at all. I just wanted to highlight how your hair can be a reflection of what's really going on in your life. And most nurses, they be having a lot going on. So sometimes there be a lot going on with their hair and scalp. So if you're in a nursing field or in any type of medical field or any field that's very high stress and you see that your hair can take a back burner to your career field, go ahead and drop a comment down below and share your 2 cents. And I'll see you in part 2.